So, intro. Nah. Today, we will be looking at my entire collection. Alright. First part of my collection I wanted to show you was the infantry. This is the main body of my army list and probably any other army list in bolt action. Let me get this off the stand so I can show you closer. Ignore my cat. So here are all my infantry models. I painted them, I think, a few years ago, so they look like this. I think they look pretty good. Yeah, I followed the reinforced. I think it was the reinforced platoon for bolt action, which allows I think an SMG and 2 BARs for like every infantry squad, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I also have these 3 bazooka teams, which I painted up also. So yeah. And that's the infantry. Now let's get on with the command, or like, let's get on with the other command. Look on the command units. And here we have my lieutenant, or my HQ. He's holding a pistol while the other two are rocking with SMGs. I don't know why I'm saying rocking. Who says rocking anymore? Do you know who says rocking still, cat? Yeah, he's sleeping. Anyways. So these two, like a pistol, SMGs. These guys over here, this is my sniper unit. I have 1 sniper and 1 SMG as part of a sniper team. And these two, if you already seen my kit bash video, you already know this is a air or artillery forward observer, and this is a flamethrower team. All right, with those done, we will get on with the machine guns. And here we have the machine guns. These are metal models. If you're familiar with the second edition for bolt action American GIs. And as you see, I've had various different types of bases. I have one with a full base, one with the full base, and another one on a separate base, and then just 3 on the separate base. I was experimenting a little bit with bases and everything. Also, if you're wondering, this is my first machine gun I built. I got confused with the bipod because I thought it was like I thought it was confused with like the tripod, like this one right here. And I think it broke. I think it broke or something because I thought it was like a bipod. So I continued cutting it until I got to the second one. Then realized my mistake that it was a bipod. So that's why it's like that. Anyways. So now with the machine guns, now we can now get on with the mortars and artillery. And here we have the medium mortar and medium howitzer. I would assume this mortar is probably like the 60mm mortar, and this is most definitely a 105 howitzer. What I like about these is that you can add a spotter these guys, and they can have any range no matter if they're behind cover or not. This also works in tandem. Hold on, let me get it. Also works in tandem with a spotter, if I remember correctly. As if I remember correctly, Americans can use observers as spotters. Now with the artillery out of the way, we can go on to the. I'll go into the armor. And now here are the tanks. As you can see here, I have 2 M4 Shermans and 1 M8/M20 Greyhound. Now, if I were a German player, I could say I have a Panther or a Tiger or something, but I don't think they'll allow me to proxy in a cat. So here we are. Now, what's cool about these things that you notice there's this like turret on the ground. This is for Konflikt 47, which is another war game I play, which is also made by Warlord Games. It also makes bolt action. And so with these are turrets that you could use to replace these turrets and then have a Konflikt 47. You know, do it right now. I'm doing this with one hand, by the way, so apologies, it took so long. Here you are. Then you place it on top of there. And now you no longer have a M4A3 Sherman, you have an M4A9T Sherman or Tesla Sherman, which I think that's pretty cool. Another thing I did with gets his approval, I guess. Another thing I did with this was that I took the frame and turret off of this, and then in its place, I would install this M20 piece on top of it, so now I can have an M20. I got a lot of really most bang for my buck out of that one. He keeps bapping it, by the way. I know you heard that. Anyways, so I use this I use the M20 formation, like the variant, to haul around my command, tell around my lieutenant and other guys on the battlefield. And I use either one or both Shermans for infantry support, and he keeps bapping the turret. I use either one or both Shermans for infantry support, depending on the configuration of the scout car. And with that done, now we can get on to the exciting part of this collection, the Konflikt 47 stuff. And here we have the Konflikt 47 stuff for my Konflikt 47 army list. Here is a Sherman a Tesla Sherman, I like to call it, 5 American heavy infantry, and 1 Coyote light walker. Cool thing about this is that this comes with a HMG and MMG on one arm and a flamethrower on the other arm if you had extra points. But for the British, they have the Guardian, which you can have the flamethrower for free if you actually do British. But I do Americans because patriotism, I guess. I don't know. I thought Americans were cool at the time until I realized that the British had automations, which are like robots, cool stuff. But I think this is also pretty cool. The walkers are cool. The thing about I have the old rules, so I have the old rules, so I think it still carries over. I have the old rules for Konflikt 47. I don't have the new ones yet for second edition. So with these things, I think they add like a +1 to hit, depending on your unit's experience. So if you had a regular unit of power armored infantry, instead of it being a 4-up, it would be a 5-up. And if you had veteran powered armored infantry, it would go from a 5-up to a 6-up, I think. It's either I'm getting confused between the old rules and the new rules, because I watched some videos for the new rules, especially like Morning Glory live stream, the good stuff. With the Tesla Sherman, there's from what I remember, there was the Pulse, and then another type which was more akin to dealing with infantry. And with the Coyote, it can both do melee and shoot. So yeah, the only thing, you can only shoot one weapon at a time for every order dice you give it. So if you advance, you can only shoot one weapon and you can't shoot them all. Unlike if you had, say, this regular Sherman where you could fire the coax, MMG, and the 75, if I remember correctly, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's it with all the bolt action and Konflikt 47 stuff. Then let's get on to the other parts of my model collection. So these are all of my Deathfield Ura miniatures made by Wargames Atlantic. These were only for stop motion videos, but I might use them for war games such as Konflikt 47 since each force can get assault rifles, and I am also looking to get an Axis armor, so I might use these for assault rifles. But yeah, see here, I painted them. If you watch my painting video, you watch my first video, you know how I paint them, and you also know the story about the pale sand. So yeah, that's gonna do it for these ones. Now let's get on to the Gundams. Then we'll get on with the conclusion. And finally, here are my Gundams. As you can see, these are the 2 Leo kits. You can find I found these at Hobby Lobby. I thought the kit was pretty interesting, and I built it, and I just like fell in love with the kit. I watched the anime a bit, only to see just for the Leos, and I already know the joke that these Leos die when so much if you so much as sneeze on them, unless the main character is driving in them. So as you see, this comes with everything that a basic Leo needs. Doesn't come with the cat though. Sorry. Anyways, these are my Leos, and that will be it for this collection. Now let's get on with the conclusion. So, in conclusion, what did we learn? That I'm not gonna stop buying. I'm not gonna stop getting more models. That's what we learned. I'm not gonna cut back. I want more models, and I'm gonna get more models, and this collection is gonna grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And this cat's gonna continue to lay on this box till the end of time, probably. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the collection, and I hope you all have like a great day and night.